minutes left in the boil, and I've added my flavoring hops. Remember, it's bittering hops, then your flavoring hops, lastly your aroma hops. At this point, what I'm also going to do is start worrying about my fiddly bits you'll remember that I had in this sanitizing solution. What I need to do is start worrying about getting them air dried so I can work with them. This lid has been sitting there air drying all along, so I'm just going to reach into this with my clean hands. And you know, realistically, I'm reaching into an iodophor solution, so my hands are probably cleaner now. Just take everything out. I'm just going to sit it on the lid so it will continue to sanitize while the leftover solution just dries off. The other thing about the iodophor, which is true with all the sanitizers, you can use that in your airlock too. A little bit of iodophor with a tiny bit with some water in the airlock. What I'm going to use is some sake, because I bought this little tiny thing of sake which I think tasted like utter crap. So I'm not going to drink it, I might as well use it for something constructive. We could just dump this out. Don't need that anymore. Okay, so now we're just waiting for the alarm to go off, and then we're going to start up the wort chiller. Hey, you know what? 19 seconds. Let's go ahead and start up the wort chiller. And what that means is we're going to use the lid again because we want to keep this thing relatively clean. We're going to turn off the fire completely because we're done with it. Ugh. Oh, I forgot the last addition of hops. Thanks for reminding me. Okay, last addition of hops, my Amarillo. I think this is probably because of the hop shortage. Amarillo's a new one. I'm not sure what they're like. But I can show you what it's like to add hops to one of these bags when they're in the brew. Okay. Anyway, we'll just let this soak while it's cooling. There's no reason to boil it for those 2 minutes. It's plenty hot enough. Just dump it right in the bag, seal the bag back up, give it a few tea baggers, drop it back down in the solution. Done. The lid goes on because now we're starting to cool it. It would probably cool easier with the lid off, but we want to protect it, right? And I just turn on the hose. And we're now spurting steamy hot water out into the driveway. That's it. That's gonna cool it down. You know what? I'm gonna stick my 2 thermometers back in. As it turns out, the name brand thermometer, in my opinion, was probably the better. I think the other one was reading low the whole time. All kinds of air bubbles from the hose. Okay, now we're gonna cool it down. One thing I didn't mention before was the hydrometer. So you could do this after you cool it down. I'm just gonna take some out now while it's hot. Little bit of sweet wort, enough to fill up the hydrometer vial. Put that on. We'll just leave that alone. That's gotta cool down until it gets below 80. We're gonna use the sweet wort here as it's cooling down. We're gonna fill up this vial and we'll get a hydrometer reading. This is before putting in the yeast. All right, so I'll see you when it's time to dunk it into the hydrometer. Or I'm sorry, fermenter. Okay, we are under 80 degrees. Now our fermenter, the lid loosely on. And I sure hope this part isn't going to be a disaster. Okay, we need to get my little trash bag here. First thing we need to do is get rid of the hot bag. See, at this point, now that it's uncovered, you know, this is where you want to not worry about not being any winds coming in, kicking in wild yeasts or anything. Take the hop bag out, and what I'm going to do is turn this thing inside out and get all these hops out of here and rinse it out, and then once it's clean I can just put it in the sanitizing solution with the other stuff. That smells like, well, it smells like an IPA right now because I got a big, huge bunch of hops right in my face, but dump, get this out of here. The beauty thing about these wort chillers is you can feel the side of the boil pot, and you can just feel heat, you know, as it goes up, as it goes away. Once it gets to the top, it's all pretty much cold. Okay, here's the bad thing where I have to dump this into this thing here. Okay, so we're going to take the lid off. Hopefully this won't go disastrous. Okay. Wow, that's heavy. Usually I got a buddy here to give me a hand, but everybody's working today because I'm on vacation. It just dumps straight into the pot, and we're nice rough pour. You're gonna get foam. You're gonna see sedimentation from the, which you could filter out, but it's really not necessary. Okay, a rough pour because that's oxygenating it. Now, the yeast makes its appearance. I've dunked this in iodophor, let it soak for a little bit and dry off a little bit. So, be careful opening it. It's pretty much clean all around this part here. Put that into our beer, or our sweet wort, which is, as we speak, now becoming beer. Dunk that. We've already taken a sample that we're going to use to test the gravity, so that means the lid can go straight on. Nice tight seal. Got my 3-piece airlock. Goes directly in there. Got my crap sake. Like I said, just because I use alcohol, just because I don't have to worry about it getting fouled. And there's actually a line on the plastic. So you just kind of pour until you hit that line. And make sure it's floating, which it is. There we go. Okay. And the airlock cap can go on. This is where blowouts happen, guys. When you get a really good ferment, this is why I really understand the guys who only use glass and they use big blow-off tubes. That's Chris Knight, I think, shows his big blow-off tube, which I've done before. But I think we're going to be okay on this. That's it. Done. Now, we're going to do the, just for a sense of completion, I'm going to do a test in here real quick and we'll get the original gravity. The manufacturer says they are estimating the range of the gravity at 1.048 to 1.055, somewhere in that range. So that's what we're looking for. They also suggest our fermentation temperatures at 68, which won't be a problem because that's about, at this time of year, that's where my closet naturally stays. Okay, but in any case, that's done. We boiled it, we stuck it in there, we put a lid on, blah blah. No tubes, canes, pumps, nothing weird, just that, we're done. That's just gonna go in a nice dark place and happily hum away. You should see lots of bubbles in the fermenter within a day. The sooner the better. Let me go get that hydrometer test.